Here is a worksheet that we're going to do together. Normally, I would hand this out and have you try to figure out all the labels for this floor plan. But because we're working online, we're going to go through this together. Note at the bottom that this is in 1 inch equals 1 foot scale. So I'm assuming that these numbers on the outside edges is referring to the number of inches in the drawing. We're going to look for these labeled items. So number one, we're looking for a sofa. And I think we'll all agree that if we looked around, this looks like a sofa from the top, right? A carpet. We could look around, and what's kind of hard to know is from the top view, this is probably a carpet because I see a square and then I see fringe on this side and fringe on that side. And this is not a hole in the carpet, but I'm guessing it's probably a coffee table. One thing about floor plans that's important, that if things aren't clear, it's best to label them so we know what we're looking at. Number 3 asks us to find a toilet. Well, it's not going to be in the main room. It looks to me like if we go off into one of these side rooms and around the back side, there's a toilet here underneath what appears to be a staircase. And it also looks like there is another toilet in the back room at the back side of this floor. A dining table. I think we'll all agree that this looks like the dining table with chairs around it. A stove. Well, let's look for what appears to be a kitchen, and this looks like a stove top with 4 units, doesn't it? So we'll assume that's the stove. How about a window? Let's note that the walls are hard structures and they have a dimension to them, solid lines, but every once in a while there's a breakup of that wall that opens up and we have something in the middle of it, probably plated glass of some sorts. So that looks like a window there. This looks like a window here. Down here's another window. It looks like there might be 2 smaller windows here and 2 windows in each of these side rooms and 2 in this one. A very different kind of window. It is a window opening apparently, but it's got more mullions or breakups of the glass. Another window and another breakup. Both of these are in bathrooms because there's toilets, so we have to assume this is some sort of special glass that doesn't allow someone to look inside. A door. I see several doors. I see doors to these side rooms, doors to the toilet rooms, doors to the kitchen, doors to this one small room and off the back side here. And I see number 7, we're looking for a French door. Here's a double door, which suggests to us a French door. You'll notice that doors are shown by a door that is open and a dotted line that suggests the swing of that door and the space it takes for that swing. For tile, we would probably guess that this front porch is tiled out here in front of the French doors because of the crisscross pattern here that we would get from a tile. Steps. We already mentioned that this is probably a staircase because it says it's going up. There's an arrow, and then there's another couple of steps that are dotted. Dotted usually means up in the air, not touching the floor. So these are probably steps going up over this toilet area underneath. I also look and I see that it looks to me like this patio is raised and it has 2 steps going up to it as well. And I do know that there are steps going out a back door. One thing that's interesting to me is to note that this back steps does not have a door at the top, which suggests that this portion of the back porch is open to the outside. There's no door. The door is going into the kitchen or into this toilet area. So interestingly enough, this seems to be open. Cut line. Cut line refers to, and this might be unusual to all of you, is that sometimes we need to cut open a space, as this cut line A is showing across, And then we'll refer to another drawing that will look at this building sliced open so we can look inside of it, like cutting an orange in half and then seeing what it looks like to see all the segments. So though we don't see the drawing that goes with A, we do know that this is a cut line that they're going to use in another drawing for showing inside of the house. Scale. We've already looked at that. Here's your scale, and this is the way you usually do it. What percentage of an inch is equal to 1 foot 0 inches? That's our scale. Measurement lines. We've already talked about that they've already shown some measurement lines. Typically what they do is they show an extension of the ending wall to the other ending wall. That's what this represents. And then they have a line in between to represent the distance from here to here is 1,190 inches. The door swing, we already talked about those. You can see the dotted lines that suggest the door swings. A television, so there's a television somewhere. And it looks to me like, it's here on the wall, so it's a hanging television. A sink, well, let's go back to the toilet areas. We'll find a sink here, we'll find a sink there, and we'll probably find, yes, looks like there's a sink with a drain board next to it in the kitchen area. 3 bedrooms. Well, we already talked about side rooms, 1, 2, and 3. So those are more than likely bedrooms. This 1 bedroom being the master bedroom because it has its own bath or toilet area. The kitchen, we've already talked about the kitchen, so we can go back and find that. An exterior wall and an interior wall. The exterior walls are here, the interior walls are here. Now, in most countries, the exterior walls would be thicker than the interior walls because they also would have insulation. Because these walls are thinner, or the same, I should say, all the way through, I'm going to suggest that this house is not in the United States in a climate area, but it's in an area that tends to be probably more one temperature, which is probably why this one room in the back is opened up. And that also because if I go into the dining area, I notice there's a sink right off of the dining area, which is unusual in the United States. And the refrigerator is right here. So having the refrigerator and a sink in the dining room suggests we are probably in another country, as are the wall structures. And I have no idea what this is back here. It looks like it's some sort of a smoker or something on the back porch area where they have some sort of unusual apparatus for cooking or washing or doing something. I'm not sure what it is. That's how we read a floor plan. And hopefully this gives you a general idea of some of the language of a floor plan.